Hey, good morning. This is Diary of a Coach, and this is episode 317. 317. Diary of a Coach, episode 317. 317. How are you this morning? It's a lovely morning. I woke up in high spirits. I had a very tiring day last night, so just slept off. And all through the night, I was playing Two Faces songs, Two Babas songs. They were playing in my subconscious. Apparently, because I was playing it on my iTunes, I slept off and it was playing all through the night. I think I love that guy. He's just a phenomenon. I love that guy. So I woke up to his songs again. I'm like, what? I put it off. I woke up refreshed. I woke up energized. Music does a lot to the soul, honestly. It's so soothing. This is our week of prospecting. Don't forget, it's the week of speculating, the week of prospecting, the week of searching, the week of pursuing, the week of getting things done, the week of following up all you've started. So, how has this week been for you? This is the midweek. Today is the middle of the week. I hope you have been using it to your advantage. I want to say thank you for joining Diary of a Coach. Today is the 317th episode. So good to see you guys. So today's episode is called... that question just distracted me. Yes, earpiece is not available today. So today's episode is titled Many people would rather die than speak in public. Many people would rather die than speak in public. Many people would rather die than speak in public. I'm sure for the Christian folks especially, you would have heard the quote that says, a sealed lip is a sealed destiny. I'm sure you've heard that before. A sealed lip is a sealed destiny. When your lips are sealed, there is a tendency, there is a belief that you will not get things that you deserve. You will not be able to make progress as you should. But the honest truth is, it is correct. The thing is that your mouth must speak what you want. Your mouth must ask what you want. Your mouth must convince, persuade, communicate. No matter how good a writer you are, no matter how prayerful you are. In fact, prayer, most times you use your mouth to utter the words in prayer. But beyond that, no matter how resourceful you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how great you are, no matter how powerful you are, no matter what you represent, when the chips are down and when the jungle has matured, you're expected to face a decision maker at some point to make your case known, to establish your case, to establish your dynamics, to establish what you want. So what this means is that public presentation, whether it's to one person or to many people, is a requirement in the course of our lives. Public presentation is a requirement in the course of our lives. By the way, let me ask, can you hear me? Because Idain's question may mean that I'm not legible enough. Please confirm that you can hear me. I just want to be sure. So, if public presentation is a requirement in the course of anything that we do, then we need to pay attention to the need, to the capacity, to the requirement of learning how to speak in public. The funny thing is, speaking to one person is the same thing as speaking to millions of people. I found it's the same logic, the same thought process, the same gesticulations, the same body language, the same, illustrations, the same metaphors. It's the same thing. Thank you for confirming you can hear me. I appreciate that. It's the same thing. So what this means is you need to build capacity to speak to an audience any day, anytime. The biggest is the impromptu. I remember as a core member, when we were in orientation camp in 2003, the then DG, Dr. Brigadier General Walter Oki, came to Lagos Camp Yanopaja, and I was a platoon leader, my platoon 2. I was platoon leader, and then the coordinator, the NYC staff just pointed at me and asked me she beckoned on me, come. So I went, and she said, sit down. So I sat down, and she said, okay, so you're going to give a thank you speech when the DG is done with his speech. I was like, okay. Because first, I did not know that I was visible. I didn't know what made them choose me, to be honest. Maybe just a random selection. So right there and then, I sat beside her. She didn't allow me go. I was heated. I sat down. So I was thinking in my head. So she asked me, do you know what to say? I said, I do. I know what to say. So I asked her, what are the protocols? Who and who do I need to recognize? And so I picked a piece of paper from her side. She gave me her pen, and then I wrote down the protocols. And so when the DG was done with his speech, I was called to come give an appreciation speech. And then, by this time I had gone back to my platoon, so I was called out. And so I marched to the rostrum, and I called out the protocol, the DG, the state coordinator, the this, the that, and I gave my speech. Even I, in retrospect, I'm like, wow, I loved that speech. Like, I'm telling you, even I, when I remember how I was standing, how I was communicating crispy, clear, the public address system was on point. So my voice was very thin and clear. And when I remember that speech, I'm really proud what I did that day. Impromptu, but it was impeccable. And the DG, stood up, and they were giving me a clap, and I was marching back to my platoon. I wish things took off from there. But that's one. In primary school, I led a team of pupils, and we gave a speech on oral rehydration therapy, ORT, to the then First Lady, the Mrs. Mariam Babangida, and the late Mariam Babangida. And it was a beautiful speech. So I'm saying this because sometimes you may be called impromptu. I have people whom I say, okay, I've been invited to speak somewhere. I'd like you to represent me. And they say, Coach, what am I going to say now? Why are you trying to embarrass me? No, Coach, please, maybe some other time. I get this a lot. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. I'm not flattering. I'm not even exaggerating. I get this a lot. People tell me, Coach, please invite me another time. I'm not ready. I don't know what I will say. I'll be afraid. You hear people speak, and you can tell in their voice that they are really shaking, like the ground should open and they should disappear. So let me give 3 points quickly on how to improve on your public speaking capacity. Number 1, you need to remember that everybody is anxious when they speak in public. Every single person. Every single person is anxious. There is an anxiety that comes, especially when you're speaking to a new audience, especially when you're speaking to a bigger, larger audience, especially when you're speaking in front of powerful people. There is the anxiety, there is the tension that comes with it. That is natural. Don't let that overwhelm you or shut your mouth. No, don't. Number 2, you should invest in bold steps. Find something that is common upon which you can build your speech. What I mean by build bold steps? So, in speaking, find a common subject that becomes your vehicle to the technical areas or to the uncommon areas that you want to talk about. So if you invite me to speak, I'll most likely start with a personal story, something I saw on the road, maybe my mental health subject matter, maybe my BSG, maybe my company, maybe my staff, maybe my siblings, maybe my friends. There's a common subject. Once you start with a common terrain and you start building your speech from there, you are able to stabilize before you go deep into the core of your message. So to speak in public, first and foremost, remember that your fear is not an isolation. Every one of us goes through some tension. Number 2, start with a common subject, something you are very comfortable with. In fact, if all your speech can revolve around a common subject, can revolve around a comfortable topic, can revolve around a comfortable flow, you will find that you do so well in your speech. And then thirdly, you must be able to look people not in the eyes, but just above their eyes, and focus on one person per time. Sometimes we experience emotional hijack because we're trying to talk to 10 people at once. So we're looking into their eyes like, okay, how are they responding? How are they feeling? How are they feeling me? Are they not feeling me? If you start your speech that way, you may get really anxious. You know why? Some people may not even be feeling odd about you. They may just be having their own personal issues and their faces are looking scruggy, and you're wondering, okay, I think I'm not starting on the right note, and then that can just dampen your entire speech. No. So when you're starting a speech, look straight. Don't look into anyone's eyes and start your conversation. And as you start your conversation, move from one phase to another phase. And guess what? As you're moving from one phase to another phase, engage them like, I am the authority here and I'm telling you this. Because one thing I've learned in public speaking is that for you to have been invited or nominated or selected or being hosted to speak, you're an authority in something. You're an authority in something is why someone would ask you to talk. You have what to say is why someone will ask you to say something. Now, some of you will say, but what if I'm in an audience or I'm in a class and somebody points at me to answer a question? How do they know I know it? Well, the thing is, there is always something you can say. And so you need to overcome the fear of being wrong. There is this fear of, I may be wrong. I have never been right. That fear is false. And you need to be able to pick on it and tell yourself, there's something I can always say. That is why you should always speak from a comfortable terrain. So I'd like you to understand this. There is a lot more I would like to say, but I won't say that on Diary of a Coach. For instance, how do you create a sequence of a speech? Where do you start from? How do you flow? Where do you end? If it's an impromptu speech on the spot, how do you create a topic or a subject matter that is compelling and attractive at that time? How do you think through creating the right illustrations that are apt for the moment? How do you tell stories such that the stories weave into the subject matter and they are not disjointed? How do you introduce humor into your speech? How do you emerge as the best speaker in any platform? There's no place I go to speak that I don't turn out like these. People are like, how does this guy do it? I get this feedback a lot, like, wow, okay, I like the way this guy speaks. So I'd like to discuss this with you this Saturday. This Saturday for 3 hours, I'll be engaging you on how to be a proficient speaker to an audience. My particular target are business owners. If you run a business, you have an NGO, you are a manager in a job, you are an employee in any job, or you own your own business, or you say you're a coach, or you say you're a CEO, or you're a trader, or you're a marketer, or you're a business development person, whatever it is, I want you to come. 3 hours, I'm going to cascade my experiences to you. I have spoken in loads and loads of platforms. I've spoken in platforms that are 6,000 people. I've spoken in platforms that are only 3 people. I've spoken to panels of business decision makers of 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, looking very intimidating, like what is he going to say? I have spoken in top civil service platforms where they look at me like, who is this small boy that is coming to? I remember when I trained NUC directors, and the then executive secretary of NUC, Professor Okogie, he was in class. Professor Okogie. And while he was there, I was jittery, like, hey, what am I going to tell these people? Prof is here. And if you know Prof can jab you anytime. He can be very funny and can be very sarcastic. So I was anxious, tense. But man, guess what? By tea break of the first day, Prof himself said, I'm impressed with this guy. In public, he didn't, no formality. The guy doesn't have any formality. He just interrupted my flow and was like, I like this boy. He's so good. I was like, whoa. First day, by tea break, Prof is already hooked on me. I say, guy, you don't try. So when it has to do with speaking in public, I have learned a lot of things, and I've tried out a lot of things. I've tried out fun, jokes, activity, pulling the strings, anything. And I would like to share my secrets with you this Saturday. So 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the time. This Saturday, I'm going to be hosting you. As I speak with you, 2 people have paid. There are only 20 seats, so we have only 18 seats left to go. 2 people have paid. If you want to join the class, there is an early bird fee of 10K. Between now and Friday 6 p.m., you can pay 10K. Immediately after Friday 6 p.m., it goes to 15K, which is the original fee for the class. We're going to share manuals. We're going to share some food. And then we're going to issue certificates to those who attend the session. If you know me, you know I don't do theory. If you know me, you know I don't do theory. Practical, strictly. So if you want to learn practical, life-changing methods to public speaking, take a seat today. I tell you, there are only 18 seats. If you know what public speaking means, you will know that this class will sell out. So don't wait until it goes to 15K on Friday. Also, don't wait until we tell you we have sold out before you now say, oh, I wasn't sure whether we come, so I was thinking and debating whether we come or I will not come. Make your payment first, then plan to be there. Instead of planning to be there before you make your payment first, then plan to be there. So, this session is practical, life-changing, powerful, inspiring, instructive, and I can guarantee you will leave that class completely remodeled. I will both motivate you and charge you and instruct you. I will motivate you and instruct you. That's what I will do this Saturday. So 5 p.m. is the time. We run up till 8 p.m. Please plan your housekeeping so that you don't come distracted. Plan so that you keep your kids where they should be. You tell your spouse, your wife, or your husband that this class, you don't want to miss it. It comes with a manual, it comes with a certificate, and will give you refreshment. You don't lose anything. And I do courses based on needs analysis. This is a feedback. That is why we're doing this course. It's not part of our normal programs. I have never taken a public speaking course like organized by us. We don't do such stuff. But because we want to help our business communities, I want to do just this one. So I can't guarantee you that we're going to do this again. And guess what? We are not recording. We will not record this session because we will not record it. So don't say, well, if I can't come, I will pay for the recording and all that. If we will record, we can only know by Saturday, because I try to discourage recording these days. I'd rather a live engagement. So make up your mind right away. Pay before you plan to come. Don't wait planning while other people have taken all the slots. Woo! This has been Diary of a Coach, episode 317. It's a beautiful midweek. I love you guys. Ogbonnaya says, you're good, sir. Keep impacting, keep winning. Thank you so much. I got a message from Peace Baba Limalgui this morning via WhatsApp. She said, my life has stepped up since I started watching Diary of a Coach. It's so humbling. Thank you so much. I thank everyone who has been with Diary of a Coach from day one. Idenyi, number one, from day one, every single episode. I love every one of you. Thank you so much for being in every episode of Diary of a Coach. Thank you, Shegon. I love you too. Thank you to everyone who has joined. I really appreciate you. It's been a loaded day. I can see my Oga Madam here, Madam Loretta Ovrere. Good to see you, Pastor. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks everyone who joined. Ofonime Basi, good to see you. Thank you everyone. And so go cracking. Don't forget, we're prospecting, we're pursuing, we're following up, we're doing everything good. So come prospect how to build your public speaking prowess this Saturday, 5 to 8 p.m. I will teach you practical. We're sharing practical stuff. No, nothing like theory, how to the 3 steps of public speaking. We'll play a video, say go and do. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. I'll tell you case by case. I love case studies. So I'll tell you event after event, how I used to speak at Coca-Cola how I speak in public service training or civil service training, how I speak in blue chip companies, how I speak. I remember when the Just crisis in 2002, when the terminus was burnt, and my brothers had gone to Port Harcourt for a scholarship interview by Mobile. Mobile Nigeria Unlimited had invited my younger brothers because they were 4-pointers in their university to attend a scholarship interview. And my parents said I should, follow them, accompany them on the trip because they were young. And so I did. On our way back from Port Harcourt, there was a crisis in Jos. We couldn't pass. We were all locked up in the police college. And then that morning, I don't know, I just had this urge, like, people are sorrowing here. I was vexed in my spirit. I just stood up and I said, hello, good morning, everybody, good morning. And, from the blue, somebody, when they say like a voice in the wilderness, I just stood up. I was prompted by God knows what. Early in the morning, like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., because people were crying, people were anguishing, and I was wondering what's going on. I just stood up. I said, good morning, everybody. And I don't know, I just kept talking. I charge you, everything's going to be great. There's going to be hope. There will be this, there will be that. I don't have an idea why I did what I did. But that day, it was like one energy just entered the camp. And people stood up, they were fetching water. Some were saying, how do we get food for people that are hungry? I was like, wow. I honestly don't know why I was inspired to do that. But that was a game changer in that camp, in that IDP. And it was beautiful. So there have been events where I've been spontaneous. There have been events where it was planned. There have been events when it was just out of the blues. I want to share some of these secrets with you because when it comes to public speaking, I have paid some dues and I can share with you. So this Saturday, be in class. I encourage you to. Thank you so much for watching Diary of a Coach. It's been a beautiful moment. And today is Saturday. Today's Wednesday, midweek. Enjoy yourself. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day prospecting your prosperity. Bye.